Hi friends, we are talking about Makara Rashi in this lecture, which is 10th in the series on Rashis. This is variously called as Capricorn in English, Ayana, Mruga, Nakra or Mrugasya in Sanskrit. Now Mruga means a deer, it also means a wild animal, but here with reference to Makara Rashi, the Capricorn, it means a deer. Nakra means a crocodile. So, as is obvious from what is being said about, the names that have been given to the Rashi, this is represented by a symbol which is front half is a deer and the second half is crocodile. That is the Swarupa, the icon, the figure of Makar Rashi. Now, obviously, what it is saying is, so now we know that they are divided into bipeds, quadrupeds and so on. Obviously, the first half would be Chatushpada, the four-legged one, isn't it? Whereas the Uttarartha, the second half, will be without legs. And it is supposed to be living by taking shelter of water as a crocodile does. Mruga also does it because deer have to go to water to drink water. So this Rashi is called Prithvi Tattva Rashi in the regular order of, as we have already seen, the Agni followed by then Prithvi, then Vayu, then Jala. So in that order it is called as Prithvi Tattva Rashi. The lord of this Rashi is the great Saturn. It is supposed to be given the Tamasa, the Tamoguna, the dark qualities. They are not always bad, so understand this. Raja means royal, so they want money. Sattva means sattvic, use their brains. Tamas is those who are ignorant, but maybe those who are also hard workers. So don't denigrate something because it is called tamas or anything. Lord Shiva, the great knowledgeable person, is also given, from whom all these sciences have developed according to Hindu understanding of things. He is also given the nomenclature of tamasa. But tamas can be something which is able to understand things which are not easily understood by others. So we are also to understand here that Jataka Parajata, which is written by the great Acharya Vaidyanath, thinks that this is a Jala Tattva Rashi. You have seen that in Rashis, you have seen there are many opinions because every learned has his own opinion about what will be the Rashi Tattva, the principle. And I also believe in Vaidyanath. I think it is a Jala Tattva Rashi. If we can look at it from a more minute angle, we can think that it is the first half would be Prithvi Tattva because it is represented by deer, and second half would be watery element. But I would think that Jala Tattva is more prominent in this Rashi. And of course, this is my opinion. Everybody has his own opinion, and they can, at different experiences that you get while analyzing the chart, you will understand what is the right thing. I am no sage, so I cannot tell you with authority that it is certainly not Prithvi, but to me it is mix of Prithvi and Jala, but Jala is more prominent as far as Makar Rashi is concerned. So having understood that, now this rises by hindquarters. I think I have given a sort of a table in one of the lectures where these things are explained, but just for the sake of repetition and making it more fixed in your brains, I am writing this, telling this. This is supposed to be a large Rashi. Now you know why it is large Rashi. I have already given in one of the lectures the figure of why the Rashis are long or short, though the degrees are identical, the 30 degrees. And then this has variable color. This has different color, spots, different spots of color is the way it is described. Perhaps more to do with the That is why perhaps it is given the name of Makara, the crocodile. Makar or Nakar does mean crocodile, but it is made of both the things. It is said to be strong in the night, and you can understand that it is naturally thought to be living in forests and water. And you look at the crocodiles, and those of you who are well versed with the animal kingdom would know that crocodiles are generally in that area. They are more to be found. Jatak Parijata says that it is in water, it is in rivers, and it also lives in forests. It is very obvious that the iconography, the way we are looking at where the Rashis live, because Rashis are only environment, it is supposed to be of the trader caste, the third in order of 4 caste system of Hindus. It is spread over, as we have seen, the one of the pada of Uttarashada has already gone in the earlier Rashi. So naturally here second pada of Uttarashada comes in. Then 4 padas, that is quarters of Shravana Nakshatra, followed by 2 of Dhanishta. So 2, 3, 4. So 3 padas of Uttarashada will be there, 4, 7, and 2 of Dhanishta. This is the area over which it is spread. This is Makar Rashi. Now, this is all known to you. So, why am I giving the lecture? We understand the, again, iconography. Look at a crocodile and understand how these people will behave. It is a Chara Rashi. But at the same time, it can be very steady. Look at crocodile when it is basking in the sun, in the river bed, and you will get some idea of what is the nature of this Rashi. It will open its mouth, bask in sun, not move at all, and you think that it is absolutely steady. And then again you will question me, why, if it is iconography, why is it called a Chara Rashi? It is a Chala Rashi, it is a cardinal Rashi. But let me tell you, when a crocodile attacks, it attacks literally at a lightning speed. People think that it can attack like that only on in water. It does so even on ground. Let its prey come in the range and it will attack like anything. Now, we have to understand that though this is 10, so a Saumya Rashi, isn't it? Because it is even number. So a Stri Rashi, a female Rashi. Yeah, that's true. But most of the time, Makar people will tolerate all sort of, if I may say, nonsense or trouble or pressure from superiors and others up to a limit. Once they are aroused, they will attack with a speed which you cannot imagine. And remember, anybody caught in the jaws of crocodile has hardly any chance of coming out of it whole or sound. So this is Makar Rashi. So though it is a Chara Rashi, though it is a cardinal Rashi, and you would generally expect people of Makara Rashi, the Capricorn, when they come to you to be fidgety, they might not appear to be fidgety initially. That will only happen once they open up. Because this I am telling, because you use all these characteristics to understand what is the correct Lagna. Because on this side you have got Dhanu, which is again part steady and part active. It is the Ubhay Rashi, and then it is connected with Makar. And then you might get confused about what is what. The methods are different. Now, Dhanu is a Agni Tattva Rashi. If it attacks you or if it wants to retaliate, it will be very one-to-one basis. I mean, direct attack and immediate attack. It would not wait for something to happen and then that he will think about it and do it. Unlike that is what is done by Vrishchik Rashi, the Scorpio. Here you have got another animal. The speed is of deer, when aroused. Otherwise, it tolerates everything. You have seen birds sitting on the crocodile's head, even entering its mouth and cleaning it, and it is okay. And suddenly it literally has an electrifying action when it attacks. So this is Makar Rashi. They are hard workers. Remember that. They are hard workers. They don't want to. I mean, you would not find them boasting or posing, which might be the case with the Mesh Rashi, Aries Rashi. It likes to go from here and there and jump around and somehow or other attract your attention. This is also a Chara Rashi, but its way of expression is different. They can work very hard. Believe me, generally they do work hard, unless if you don't pressurize them and create too much of a problem, they would generally tolerate everything and still go on working. Ultimately, it is owned by Shani, the Bhrutya, the servant in the planetary cabinet. So they are hard workers. Don't think that they are not hard workers. They are extremely hard workers. They can take any pressure. But sometimes they can get angry and then God save the opponent. This may appear to be too much, but yeah. And this is of course the pure form of Rashi. If Guru is aspecting their food change, whatever is. This also represents the knees of the Kala Purusha. And you can understand that even in the body, see, your entire weight is borne by knees and feet and ankles, but more on knees. That is why when arthritis is there, generally joint pain is in the knees. That is where the action is always there. Your knee will always be in motion, but it keeps you steady. When you stand, it can remain like that for a long time. This, in a way, is again Makar Rashi. So, very hard workers. If I get somebody who is in my organization with Makar Lagna, I will be happy. He will be a hard worker. He would generally go on working without complaining. If I am not very bad with him, I would not have any problem. These people like to work, and this is the nature of Makar Rashi. And as you know, where they reside or where they are generally to be found is forest and rivers and any water body, large water body, obviously. So you have to understand that if it is a question about some theft or where a person will be working, then you will find that if that Jataka has, Aries rising, perhaps he would be more comfortable working in or doing something for people who reside in forest or water or whatever. This is a possibility. Planetary influences on Rashis would change I am telling you the pure form of the Rashi. And you please understand this. This is always helpful in understanding which can be the Lagna. These people are practical actually. Though Saturn is a philosopher. That philosophy you will find in the next Rashi that we will be talking about in the next lecture. So, my friends, I think this should be enough to make you understand the Makara Rashi, the Capricorn. And if you want to know more, go to the classics or read my book. I have given other characteristics of Makara Rashi in a chapter which follows the general description of Rashi, just to be able to explain it more, rather my view of how I would look at somebody with Makar Rashi. And when I say Rashi, please remember, I have been telling this in all the lectures. These influences are seen more in the when the Rashi falls in the ascendant, because that is the entire personality of a Jataka. Whereas if Moon happens to occupy Makar Rashi, that is Capricorn, there would be some softness and it would talk about the mind of the person. But what we come across in real life is what happens on ground. And people come to astrologer to know what is going to happen in his life, not in his mind. He knows what is happening in his mind. Of course, it helps if we can tell that. And Moon in Makar Rashi can sometimes give a feeling of depression to people, but that is not always so. Generally, It is a Rashi which is, you will think that it is lethargic because sitting at one place, but that is where when you need hard work, people need to be at one place for a long time, and that is where these people are excellent. They are good planners, don't forget that. See, this is an animal which has survived millions of years without changing its form. So it knows how to survive. So understand that Makar people are survivors in any place or business or environment, so to call. And so, my friends, I take your leave. I hope these lectures are not long. I am deliberately keeping them short because Rashi's, I mean, as I said, I started with Bhava, the most important thing that you must understand, followed by the Graha, which modify effects which also own Bhava, and now we are coming to Rashis, which are again owned by the Grahas, but they show more the environment. Now, these first two can tell you the action that needs to be taken to sort of change the final results. Rather, keep the final results is the same, but give you more happiness with the results, which whatever results you are getting, because you are correct actions. Whereas this talks about the environment, which is more or less fixed. So, but it also indicates the nature. So it is very important. Nothing is unimportant in astrology. Please remember that. And I'll take your leave. As usual, go on giving me your comments, suggestions. I'll try to do my best to tell whatever I know. I want this to be available for posterity to think about. I am only giving you a different perspective of looking at Rashi. So many of the things that I say you might not see in the classes, though they are there. One has to look deep into it. And thank you very much, and good night, dear friends.